Welcome to episode 19 of the Tough Draw Talks podcast. I'm your host, Brad Hughes. Today, we are coming to you from the historic Fort Worth Stockyards at the Brand Room, an amazing bar and restaurant right here in the backyards of our HQ. Today, I'm fortunate to be able to sit down with Katie Perschbacher and Laramie Wilson of Hookin Ranch, part owners and all-around handlers and haulers for the amazing world champion bull Woopaa, amongst many other things. Appreciate you being along for the ride. Katie and Laramie, we're excited to have y'all here today. Appreciate it. How are y'all doing?
Doing good, and you?
Oh, man, I'm doing all right. It's been a hectic day. Thank y'all for dealing with the schedule flexing a little bit. Katie, how are you?
Wonderful.
You told me you were the talker, but Laramie opened his mouth first, so I don't understand. How was lunch? What'd y'all get for lunch?
H3, can't go wrong with H3.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't. So we were just talking earlier, and y'all have listened to a couple of the podcasts. We like to do the staple questions just to kind of break the ice normally. But in the spirit of Valentine's Day week, we're going to try something different. We're going to have a little couples therapy. See how this goes. All right.
I don't know if I like where this is going.
Laramie, what is Katie's favorite movie?
Ooh. You put me on the
You
spot.
can
I
give
don't
the
know.
Jeopardy music if you'd like, Katie.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't watch it. She watches lots of sitcoms, not many movies.
Oh.
Maybe Secretariat.
There you go.
Okay.
She's nodding. Hey, good job. Here you go. We need a sound machine. Ding. All right, Katie, what's Laramie's favorite snack?
Trail mix?
Yep.
Oh, 2 for 2. All right. So, Laramie, what's Katie's favorite music artist?
Ooh, it's I'm gonna say Red Seagull, but it's a wide variety depending on the day.
What is it today, Katie?
Yeah, that's probably pretty close to what it's been today.
Man, I'm giving y'all layups, I guess. Katie, if Laramie wasn't in the bull business, what would he do?
Ooh.
I don't even think he knows the answer to that.
I don't even know. That's a good one. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know.
Since he doesn't know, just what do you think? Because you know him. Would he be a mathematician?
Yeah, he's really good at math. I will give him that. Yeah.
There you go.
Catches me on my math errors.
We'll go math teacher. How about that?
I could, maybe, yeah.
Math teacher with a side of ag, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So these questions, I'm going to throw them out and y'all just answer together. Who is the better driver?
Laramie.
Oh, man.
Yep.
James, did you hear that? All right. Who's the better cook?
Me.
Really? You gotta... Okay.
It depends on what we're cooking.
You didn't answer.
If it's a steak,
understand.
it's Laramie. If just about anything else, it's Katie.
There you go. All right. All right. So here's a fun one. Who's better with the bulls?
Laramie, hands down.
Oh,
I'll give it to him.
do you have a rebuttal?
Well, maybe a little bit, because Katie, she keeps her cool longer. If one makes me mad, I lose my cool, and we don't see eye to eye anymore. Katie's like, hey, they're just babies. Keep calm with them.
So funny enough, your social media name, I guess it's technically not your handle, Woopaa's mom. Is that?
Okay, so
Do you baby the bulls?
Very much.
a little. Not so much Woopaa. That's Laramie's. That's his deal.
They all need love, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's when I get bored. That's what I do. Mow the barn.
Thank y'all for humoring me, playing along. Y'all are only the second couple that I've had on the show, so y'all are still guinea pigs. So we just get to try things, have a little fun. So we just alluded to him, and we can circle back to what I'm sure a lot of people want to hear about on this podcast. But first, I want to know a little bit about y'all. Laramie, I saw you were from West Texas. Where in West Texas?
Monahans.
Monahans. Okay. I'm originally from Lubbock.
Okay.
And so James and everyone around me makes fun of me because West Texas, they say, is like a cult.
Yep.
But I love it. And everybody, it's a small town feel, no matter where you're from, within a 300-mile radius.
That's right. That's right.
So welcome. We're like family.
That's right.
But no, Katie, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about your background and kind of how you got into the business. And I know we've actually had your uncle on the podcast, Cord.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about what it's like putting up with him and just your backstory.
So, I've grown up in the rodeo industry. I've ran barrels my whole life. My family's always had bulls, both sides of them. They've put on rodeos and that kind of thing. So I really don't know anything different. I grew up, either at a rodeo or a sale barn. And so that's really, all I've done my entire life. I can't really see myself doing anything different. So I went to college on a rodeo scholarship, and I come home for the summer, was going to rodeo a little bit, and ended up going to a buck and bull fraternity with my grandpa Denny. And I think that was in 2018, I think. And I think I've been to probably 20 barrel races since then. So I wouldn't
pretty much
change
gave it up.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. I still have a horse that I can still go to the barrel race on, and we raise a few colts, but for the most part, it's all buck and bulls. I wouldn't change it. I love it, and it's a great industry to be a part of. It's been a blessing, just the things that we've got to do and the places that we've got to see, just because of these bulls.
Absolutely. So where are you from?
Ada.
Oh, Ada, Oklahoma. Okay. Very cool. So we actually met Katie, I guess, what did we figure? It was 3 or 4 years ago. Shooting some stuff for Cord. That's where we met you out there.
Yeah.
So no, that's pretty awesome. So you barrel raced through high school and into college. When did you meet Laramie?
I won the world in 19, so it would have been right around a little bit before then.
Katie don't know it. I actually met her, I think, before she ever went to a buck and bull competition. She was at a bull riding with her dad, and up until probably 2 years ago, I didn't even realize the same person that I met then. But we met in probably 17 or 18. But I don't know for sure what she was doing there. She was there with her dad, but I don't know what he was even doing there. So looking back on it now, it's kind of funny how it all comes around. But
Yeah.
yeah, first time we remember meeting each other is probably 19.
Yeah. So what about you? So you said you're from Monahans, West Texas. Oh yeah. In the
Yep,
house.
I was born in Monahans. My parents, when I was little, they had a junior rodeo association, and they had all the bulls. I say all the bulls. If they could supply all of them, they would. But every now and then they had to get help from other contractors. But back then it was you just buy bulls out off the range, buy them from the sale barn, or if a farmer called and had one that was wild and hard to catch, we tried to buck him. In 98, I believe, end of 98, beginning of 99, we moved to North Texas because I wanted to ride bulls. I was still little. I was in sheep and calf riding. My brother was ate up with it. Being from West Texas, you might have to drive 2 hours to go to a rodeo or something. If my parents wasn't putting one on, they were trying to take us to one.
Yeah.
There's nothing close. Knowing that there's more around North Texas, they moved us up here. They've tried to help us be successful riding bulls and stuff. And I got hurt quite a bit when I was little just because I was
It's funny how that happens, isn't it?
yeah, I was fed up with it and probably pushed myself a little too hard. And there's no telling what me and my brother did when my parents were at work. But I think in 05 I was kind of hurt, and me and my brother, for whatever reason, we went to the sale barn one day and we bought a couple cows. Well, we sent them to a friend and bred them to a buck and bull, and it kind of took off from there. And we just kind of piddled and dabbled in it from then on. We'd always buy a bull, resell him, buck him if he bucked, make a couple hundred, take him back to sale barn, whatever. Well, I think in 07 we bought our first fraternity calf, and from then on it's just been 110 as fast as we could go.
So you kind of were born into it with your family and stuff. And this question applies for both of y'all, but with, growing up in it, being around it, seeing it, how has the bucking bull game changed from the time you can remember kind of first seeing it to what it is today and what y'all are in now?
It's night and day different. Well, and I wasn't really born into it, I guess, because my dad was a roper and his family all rope. My mom, they showed goats and they ran barrels. So the rough stock end of things, it was unheard of. My grandparents, none of them wanted me to do it. They're like, oh, no, buy a rope for us. But I guess I'm an adrenaline junkie kind of. I didn't want to rope. I wanted to ride bulls. But back then, you'd buy a beef calf or whatever and try to buck it. And even in 05 to really probably 2008, me and my brother quit buying stuff from the sale barn just because it was hard to keep up. But we would still buy stuff from the sale barn for $500-600, and we could sell it for $2,500, $3,000 because it was accessible. It was easy to do. Nowadays, and back then, a $3,000 bull might be a 19-20 pointer. Today, a $3,000 bull is a 21.5 pointer. You know what I mean? Like the 2-year-olds, the futurity bulls have gotten so much tougher. We've been breeding and progressing so fast that what used to be a good bull, they're a hamburger nowadays.
Yeah. And Katie, from your side of things, with your grandpa and different things like that, what was your experience like kind of seeing, I know you were barrel racing and different things like that, but just what you can kind of remember from the bull game and what you saw with being in the family you were in.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes just and not only in the people that are in it. I mean, we're getting new people in every day, and when we get messages on social media of people, hey, how do we get involved? We want to buy a bucket bull. So we really try to push that of welcoming people into this industry. And just in the few short years that I've really been involved, it's just erupted into these big, like this weekend we're headed to Waco to a 50,000 added futurity. And I mean, that was 5 years ago. That was unheard of. I mean, they just didn't have those. So I think that they're really trying, the ABBI is really trying to help, us hauling these bulls and the breeders in being able to actually make some money and make a living.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just kind of alluded to it. Talk a little bit about the ABBI. So y'all have been a part of that, and I know that both of y'all have achieved a lot of success. Like I've trying to pull up your website because the list is so long. But, talk a little bit about that and what that's meant and some of the things y'all have won and the bulls and and just the different stock you've taken through there.
Well, I'll start with ABBI. The ABBI is the American Bucking Bull Incorporated, and it's the registry for all the bucking bulls. And I'm going to say 95% that you see at any rodeo, PBR, futurity, they're all registered through the ABBI. It's I believe the second largest cattle registry in the U.S. Angus naturally is first, and then the ABBI is second. But it's kind of the father, I guess, to the bucking bull competitions or mother, however you want to word that.
Yeah,
it created the base for it to be able to prove that used to. And I keep referring back to how it was in the past, but if you had a Charolais bull, anybody could say, hey, that's a Bodacious son because he looked like a Charolais. Well, up until 2004, there was no way to track that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, they've been able to track it and prove that it is or isn't a Bodacious son or Bushwhacker, whatever the Woopaa, whatever the sire may be,
Yeah.
So it definitely has changed it. But then like Katie stated, 10 years ago, we were just bucking bulls and jackpotting for money, and nowadays we have 50,000 added events. They had 100,000 added yearling event in Vegas back in November. So the ABBI is definitely promoting the growth of the bull industry and trying to make it a bigger, more mainstream type sport. I can't speak for the whole ABBI. Me personally, I want to see it like the racehorse industry, where before long we're competing for $1 million purses, or the cutting horse. Cutting horse is really taking off and doing
Definitely.
that.
Yeah.
So I see us now. I know it don't happen overnight. That's 8 or 10 years down the road. But
Yeah.
if we're at 50,000 added events now and 100,000, it won't take long to be at that $500,000, $1 million purse. So.
Yeah. So one thing I've been really interested to see and read about and stuff is your involvement with the ABBI, and talk a little bit about being a female stock contractor. Like, I know it's kind of, I know there are some people that, Paige Stout, I know she used to do it. She kind of doesn't as much anymore. And I know that there were some pioneers for it, kind of the generation before y'all. But what does that mean to you, and how is it different, and what opportunities has the ABBI in today's climate created for you as a female to be able to do it?
The bucking bull world is a man's game. And one awesome thing about our industry is they welcome the women in. There was never a time where I felt like I didn't, belong. And so with the ABBI, there was a few women that got together and created the women's fraternity. So those are calves that we flank and we do everything with. So it's been a neat opportunity, and I met some lifelong friends, and people that I could call right now, Leanne, Tiffany, any of those kind of people that I could call right now and say, hey, I need help, and they would be here in 2 seconds to help you. In 2019, I did win the world with a bull that my grandpa Denny raised. So I did everything with him, and it was super cool to win the world, obviously, but with one that, Denny raised his mom, his dad, their mom and dad, and it was just a product of a lot of years of really hard work. To get to see that kind of come together was just an awesome thing.
Yeah. So do you remember the first time you flanked a bull or got to flank a bull?
I was little. My dad was putting on just open rodeos and open bull ridings, and some of them I got to flank. Majority of them I would hang the flank and I would hold it, and my dad would stand on the outside and he would reach through and flank them. But I thought it was like the coolest thing ever, because I'm back there, and that was probably the first time I really got to be back there. Flanking fraternity calves was probably 2018. My brother, Quinn, he's always had youth calves. So I told Quinn, I'm gonna start going with y'all too, with him and Denny. And he said, okay, so I'm gonna teach you. So he taught me in his room, and he's 10 years younger than I am, so he's telling me how to do it. And we went to Border Town to a fraternity and flanked my first calf, and from then on, they let me win a little bit of money, and I was hooked.
That's cool. That's cool. Talk a little bit about some of the bulls. When did y'all start Hookin W? I guess is a good question. Was it in 18 or was it 19 or?
No, so Hookin W, I guess that's been my brand for as long as I can remember.
Oh, okay.
I sacrificed mine for this.
Yeah, hers goes on the horses and mine goes on the cattle. But main reason because hers is a freeze brand and mine's a hot brand. So I really couldn't tell you an exact year we started Hookin W. It used to be me and my brother. My brother, I wanted to focus more on quality, and he thought it was a numbers game. Or he wanted quantity, I wanted quality, and so he took my grandparents' old brand Bar W, and I went with Hookin W, and we just went on with it.
Yeah.
If I had to put a date on it, I'd say 07 or so, but I don't remember.
What are some of the bulls and just kind of the breeding that's gone through Hookin W?
Ooh, if you can imagine it, you can think it.
Because again, I saw the accolades and the sheer number of things. You've won at every level of the, of the ABBI or of the futurity circuit, or how would you word that?
Yeah, probably the ABBI, because there's more than just futurity, but I want to say the first one that pops into my head was actually the first futurity bull me and my brother bought together. It was at the fall of 06. We bought a yearling from Billy Janes, and we called him Stormy Nights. And in 2007, he was a youth futurity world champion, and we thought that was it. We done made the top. There wasn't no looking back now. Little did we know there'd be lots of down between now and then. But that Stormy Nights is actually the grandsire to a bull that we won the yearling world champion with in 2019. So it all come back around, or I'm sorry, 2020. Yeah. My years are running together. COVID's got me all messed up. But I think Stormy Nights, he wasn't the best bull by no means, but he was one that always kind of put us on the map, kind of opened a lot of doors for us. That was 12 years ago or so. Yeah. And then War Cloud. Everybody remembers War Cloud. It's a bull that jerked Chase Outlaw down. That's not a good thing to be known for, but he won the Futurity World Champion and the Derby World Champion. So I think that was the next one that people kind of thought, oh, hey, Laramie might know what he's doing. He's got one that's bucking, it ain't just a fluke deal.
There you go.
There's been lots of bulls that they didn't win the world title, but from, I'm going to say 2010 to 2016 when War Cloud won the next world title, I was bad about seeing dollar signs. Yeah. And if I could go to a futurity and make money, I wasn't chasing no points. I didn't need the buckle at the end of the year to say I was a world champion. I wanted to go wherever I could to make the most money with that set of calves. And there's a lot of calves that might could have been a world champion, that I went to every association and every jackpot there was trying to win them the most money instead of structuring their schedule around chasing a world title or something. So
Yeah.
now I know that gold buckle means a little bit more than that check. That check, it's gone the next day usually.
What changed? How did you start, like after 2016? What was it that made you realize what you were doing?
So in 2015, we won the $1 million for charity.
Yeah.
It paid $500,000 to win it. And I thought, man, that's going to be awesome. Well, nobody asked, where's that check at? They all want to see the buckle. And after that, I kind of thought to myself, like, hey, you might want to focus more on this buckle and the prestigious accolades that go with a world title versus the money. I can always use the money, and I'm going to make more tomorrow or whatever, but that buckle, I'm going to have it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I think and that goes for anything you do. Think about the long-term effects, not what's going to help you the most tomorrow.
That's interesting. So I know you've only been in it for a couple years now, but what are some of the things that you see that you've kind of learned maybe about yourself or about the industry, or even learned from Laramie?
Like these bulls, every single day we're out there, they teach you something. And I think that's the coolest thing about them is, no matter if we're running, babies through or we're hauling Woopaa, I learn something every single day from them. Coming from like a horse background, we really try to kind of cater to these animals and just learning, this one needs this and this one needs that. And I think that's the coolest part, for me, is to really get to know these cattle and know that this one is, like I won the finals last year and then was reserve world champion with a bull we called Nigel. And, Laramie hauled him a little early in the year, and then I got to haul him. And just knowing little things about him, like, he needed to be in this certain spot in the chute, or if he wasn't kind of towards the back, he wouldn't leave clean, and I learned that the hard way. But, little things like that you learn about them that Woopaa likes this a certain way or this, that's the things that we really, I catch myself, like, thinking about things, laying in bed at night, thinking, man, I could have done this, or I'm going to try this next time. I think that's what's pretty cool.
So for those people that are interested in stock contracting, like, what would you say to those people about getting involved, or what that looks like? How would they do it? But then what are some pros and cons or takeaways that people need to know about the industry itself?
This is going to be kind of a long, multi-step answer, so bear with me.
Bear with you. I got you. I got water right here.
There you go. So the first answer is you need to decide what your goals are and what you're wanting out of it. If you're wanting a quick return, try to make some money. It's very difficult. I wouldn't advise that being a goal, but do your homework. Try to buy something cheap, a younger calf cheap, and resell him. If you're wanting to win a world title or have a bull on the PBR, if you're wanting to be a partner, know who you're partnering with. Go through their social media. If they don't have a social media, that's usually a red flag. Or if you're not already seeing them on the ABBI result sheet, don't just call up your buddy that used to get on bulls and say, hey, let's buy some bulls and let's go win. I hate to say it, but it's not that easy anymore. So definitely do your homework on who you're getting involved with and know what part of the industry you want to fall into, whether it be yearling calves, 3-year-old bulls that are just starting with a rider, or 5-year-old bulls that are going to the PBR. Definitely have a feel for what you want and where you want to go with it. And second off, know that it's not a cheap hobby or cheap business. If you're competing, the price of the bull is usually the cheap part. The entry fees, you have to enter anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks out. And if you don't hit a lick right off the bat, you may be entered in 3 different events, and $1,000 to $1,500 a bull. You may have $5,000 wrapped up in entry fees before you ever leave the house to go to the first event. And then if you don't win at the first one, you lost money getting there and stuff, So it's a great industry to be involved in, and I just want everybody to know up front that, hey, not all of them are going to win 200, 300,000. But I definitely wouldn't change anything. I would jump right back in if I was an outsider looking at it. Yeah. Like, man, that looks interesting. And like Katie kind of touched on, getting to know the calves and their personalities. They're just like people. Every one of them has a different personality, and being around them, watching them is pretty rewarding within itself.
Yeah. Katie, do you have anything to add to that, or?
Oh, I think everything he said. I mean, I agree with, we've the partners that we have right now are some of our best friends. I find myself calling and talking to them more than my family sometimes. The people in this industry, we see them more than our own families. Silvano, all them guys, they don't live far from us, and we hang out at their house and have dinner with them, and they've become family, as well, just because of bucking bulls. So I think that's super cool. You know.
So that's actually a really cool dynamic that with Tough Draw as a brand and just like as a company and different things like that we're, that community element, right? Like, doesn't have to be family. You don't have to have ridden horses. You don't have to have ridden bulls. Like, just that community element of like kind of an all for one for all type of feel. What can you talk just a little bit about that community in the sport? Like, Laramie, I know, like you said, you didn't grow up around the bucking bulls and different things like that because of your family was more timed events and stuff like that. And you were probably, well, with cord and DNA and stuff like that. But yeah, just talk a little bit about what it meant to be able to grow up in Western culture. And Katie, I'll let you take that one first.
I think that's the coolest thing. I wouldn't change a thing about any of that, just little things like headed to a rodeo one time, and we stopped at a gas station, and I had headed with barrel horses and stopped to let them out, to kind of let them move their legs a little bit. And there was a car full of whole family, and they come over there and want to know if they could see the horse. And of course, I'm letting them, pet the side of the road by the highway, letting them pet my horse and stuff, and they go, oh, we just wish we could have a horse. Here I am, like kind of disgusted that I got to get out and walk my horse so we can go to the rodeo. I have to step back and think, like, we get to do this, wake up every morning and see Woopaa in our front pasture. Like, man, it's a whole, it makes you very appreciative of what we get to do.
Yeah. What about for you, Laramie? What's the community and the sport overall? Just in general, what does it mean?
I don't even think family's tight enough to describe it, because when you talk about the community, even people I grew up with and we rodeoed with when we were little, I could run into one of them and that we could sit down and have lunch, and like we never missed a beat. And it may have been 15 years ago that I seen them. Or I could run into Silvano, and we just left his house. We had a barbecue at our house Sunday, and we went over and bucked bulls and ate dinner at his house on Mondays. And this is Wednesday, and we would act like we've been best friends for 30 years, So I think we all come together to help everybody be their best, and I think that speaks more in volume than anything. It doesn't matter if I hadn't seen them in 15 years or if I seen them 2 days ago. They're going to help me be my best, and I do the same thing for them and help them whatever they needed. And that goes for the whole rodeo industry. It doesn't matter if you rope calves or you buck bulls or ride bucking horses, whatever. Some of my best friends, were ropers in my family, and we would help each other out. We may give each other heck about, hey, you're a roughie or you're a loose route, whatever. But at the end of the day, we would help each other do whatever we needed to.
For sure. It's interesting you say that, because, some of the most incredible things that James and I love about this community is, faith and patriotism, which are something that, like, you can't go anywhere and get that anymore. And you just kind of alluded to it as, like, it's more than family. And, I'm always kind of reminded, like, God calls us to be in community. And I think that it's such a, like you're saying, it's such a unique bond. And just that element of faith and of patriotism. What is y'all go to events every weekend, right? Can you speak a little bit just to the faith and the patriotism that you see in this sport and how that is one thing in my opinion, that's one thing that's a positive that still remains. But what do y'all see when y'all look at that?
Just like this weekend, the ABBI, they'll have church Saturday morning before the fraternity, because a lot of us won't make it back in time to go to church or whatever, and I think that's says something for our industry that we're really trying to instill that faith base and know that we're here to buck bulls, but also we're here bucking bulls because of one certain thing. So I think that's one of the most for me, telling somebody, hey, come to this fraternity, but it starts at 10, but come at 8.
Yeah.
And that's like a neat thing for us to be able to tell our partners that, hey, we're gonna buck bulls, but we're gonna talk about God first. So I think that's something that I sure enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, and that's not just the ABBI. We got to take bulls to a high school rodeo about a year ago, and we were out there at 6 that morning sorting the roping cattle on the rough stock, and at 8 o'clock, we had to be done at 8 o'clock for church service. And now we got done at 2 the night before, and we had to be back up there at 6 to start, but we had to do it just so we could have church service, and we weren't causing a ruckus during the middle of church, because nobody like anybody in the back row making all that racket,
Absolutely.
So I think that's it. It doesn't matter what level of rodeo you're at. The faith is always going to be there. And then as far as the patriotism, it doesn't matter where you go. You won't see somebody kneeling at a rodeo. They're going to take their hat off and stand for the flag. Yep. They're going to say the prayer everywhere, from Canada to Brazil. That's part of it, Yeah. So I think that's the biggest part.
It's extremely unifying.
Yes.
So, speaking of blessings, let's talk about Woopaa. So Larry Barker, he was born on Larry's ranch, correct? Or was he born on Hookin?
Well, he was born on Jim McLean's ranch. That's where Larry had all of his cows at the time. Larry lives in New Mexico, and there's not much grass in New Mexico. So he had all of his cows in southern Oklahoma and just south of Duncan. And that's where Woopaa was actually born, was there in Duncan. But Larry owned his mom and his dad, so Larry raised him more or less. But he wasn't born at Larry's place.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about how y'all came to be Woopaa's mom. And y'all came to basically partner with Larry and haul and handle and do all the things that you do, and now he lives on your place.
I laugh, the Woopaa's mom. On social media, somebody would comment something, and I'd be like, they'd say, oh, Woopaa's going to, Sacramento. And
I'm Woopaa's mother, and no, he's not.
And I'd be like, no, unfortunately, Woopaa won't be at Sacramento, but, he'll be at St. Louis or wherever, and they'd be like, well, how do you know? And so it was a joke. Somebody had commented and go, that's Woopaa's mom. Well, now it's just a joke, and it's funny.
My wife loved that.
Oh, yeah. I get a good kick out of it all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. But, yeah, I mean, how did he come in, when did y'all get him, and how did that all kind of play out?
So I'm going back to a little bit on how Larry was involved with Exclusive Genetics. I'm sure he got involved in probably 2010 or 2012. And the man that I used to work for, he was a first Exclusive Genetics customer. So from 2010 on, or 12, whenever Larry got involved with it, I'd known Larry, and we were always acquaintances. And if Larry wasn't hauling his own bulls, Mike White had his bulls. Well, Mike decided to get out of the bull business, and he sent all of his customers to me. And Larry had one bull at Mike's at the time. He sent him to me. I think I picked him up on a Tuesday, and he had to go to an event Thursday. Well, I wasn't worried about the gold buckle at that time. I was worried about making money, and I wasn't going to that event for one bull, so I sent him with someone else. Well, that bull went up there and kicked butt, and they ended up selling him at that one event. So I didn't really have any Larry's bulls.
Was that the moment of clarity?
Well, Larry is like, well, okay, I guess I don't have anything else with you. Well, it took about another 2 years before I guess Larry had anything worth sending to somebody. And I was going and blowing with another man at the time, so I wasn't too worried about getting the calves and somebody else got them. fast forward to Woopaa's yearling year in Vegas, and at that time it was just 124. He didn't have a name or anything like that. And I watched him buck out there, and I was like, man, that sucker is a bucker. Like, we need to see what it costs to get him bought. Well, I got a price on him, and it was outrageous, which bull bucked, but it was outrageous at the time. And I was thinking, no, ain't no way I'm paying that much for a yearling. So we see him a little bit as a 2-year-old, and then he just kind of falls off the map. Come to find out, they bred cows to him. They just let him grow up as a 3-year-old. Well, we were in Vegas, and I think this was the year Katie won the world, and I was thinking, man, I ain't got
19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I said, I ain't got nothing to haul next year that's just a stud, and to keep growing your business, you got to have those studs. And I was trying to think back on bulls in the past that I'd seen that I thought I had the tools to be a stud. And I thought, man, I wonder whatever happened to that red calf. Well, Larry wasn't out there at the time. He didn't have anything. And Jim McLean, being that Woopaa was born at Jim's house, I hemmed Jim up, and I was like, hey, whatever happened to 124? Where's he at? And he's like, oh, I think he's at Larry's house still. Might give him a call. It's like, okay, well, I'll call him on the way home. And, you're in Vegas 2 weeks, and
you forget.
I did forget, but Jim and Larry had talked in the meantime. So Jim put the bug in his ear, and about a week after I got home, Larry called, and he's like, hey, Jim said you might be interested in hauling 124. Or I think he called him the Red Bull at the time. And I said, yes, sir, I think so. He's like, well, I've just bucked him once with a rider, and he was pretty good, and he had a cut on his leg, so we didn't do much with him. But I'll send him to you and see if you're interested in him, buck him a few times. So we got him in the middle of January, his 4-year-old year, and Larry was gung-ho to enter him. And if you go back and look at pictures, I mean, he wasn't much more than a calf at the time. He was kind of slab-sided and not grown up and matured.
Yeah.
And we get him, and Larry enters him, and I'm thinking, man, this thing is slab-sided. He ain't thick. He ain't very big, and we're taking him to a term pro, and there's a lot of Brazilians entered. Like, I'm not sure that we're setting this bull up to be successful. I'd never had him in a bucking shoot, much less bucked him.
Yeah.
And we take him down there, and he wins second, and I think 5 guys wanted to buy him that night. And they're like, we'll give you $50,000 for him. So I'm calling Larry like, hey, we got him sold. Let's go. Here this is in my mind thinking we got to get the money, not the gold buckle. So Larry's like, no, just hold on to him. So we haul him all of his 4-year-old year, and it all falls into place. But there was 4 or 5 of those phone calls that we got, and each time the value went up on that price tag, and I just kept telling Larry, nope, we got to sell him. Larry said, no, we're keeping him. So finally now I'm on the same page. We're keeping him, but
just took 2 gold buckles.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So it's funny. So you mentioned that. I was looking at his stats on the PBR's website, and so the first 4 outs that he had were the only time on their records that he was scored under 45 points.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How, what is it like behind the bucking chutes when you're flanking him and stuff, and you just, a big ride's coming, or a big, it ain't going to be a ride probably, but just a big score's coming.
Honestly, it's time almost stands still. From the time they get on him in the chute and they start warming their rope up, or I go to flank him, to the time they either ride him and get off, or the time they buck off, it's like time stands still. And a lot of times, and Katie makes fun of me in the pictures, because after about the 3rd or 4th PBR we went to, you could see all the people start coming to the fence and coming to the bucking chutes to watch Woopaa.
Well, and especially if it's a Brazilian getting on him, they're all
around cheering each other on, and I'm the type of guy, I flank him and I make sure he gets out clean. But then I kind of fade back. I can still see it, but in the pictures, I guess because I'm so short, most people are taller than me, some of them pictures, you don't even see me back there. It's like I wasn't even there at all.
Well, at the finals,
he disappeared.
At the finals in 20, it looked like Riley Sanford flanked him. You can't even see Larry.
Yeah.
Well, Riley's a giant, so,
Exactly.
He
that
towered over
happens.
everybody.
Man, so when he started going to the touring pros and when you started hauling him, is that when he came to live with you at the Hookin W?
January of 2020, he came to live with us out there at Rome.
So you were already in the picture at the time. So what became your role with
first off, I
Woopaa.
laughed at the name. I was like, Woopaa, okay.
Oh yeah, that's when he got the name. Also, is when he
When he
showed up
sent
at our
him.
house. That he had just put the ear tag in him with Woopaa as the name. So
Well, I kind of laughed, like, what kind of name is this? I mean,
Did he tell it? Did he explain the
no,
story?
he did not tell me anything.
We'll
he
post.
explained
By
it
the
to
way,
me.
we'll post that video. There's a video that was made that Mr. Barker explains the name Woopaa. It's actually a really cool story. But go ahead,
Yeah, so
Katie, Laramie.
I had
Katie,
no
go
idea.
ahead and proceed to badmouth the name.
Yeah, I had no idea what the name was. Like, I laughed, whatever, haha. The whole time, apparently he knew. Well,
You just
he
let
said
her.
he named
you
him
just
from.
let her
He
keep
said he
going?
named him from a friend. Named him from a friend. Okay, well, whatever. So it went on. Well, then he kind of started to kind of win a little bit, and I thought, man, like the name's pretty cool. And so then once you really find out about more about the story, it was just awesome. And I think Justin Flisco did an article. I want to say we were headed to Little Rock last year, and even headed to Little Rock was when I found out that Larry named Woopaa right before he sent him to us.
Yeah.
Like, at that point in the year, I had known kind of about the name, but that bull is something else. It's an opportunity that very few people ever get an opportunity to be around a bull like that, much less have him on your truck. So for us, that's a whole jump start on the industry, being able to have a bull like that. And, on our career, that's a major, game changer. And so we've been really blessed that's opened up a lot of doors for us.
Yeah.
And, it's been one of those deals where you're excited. I mean, I'm excited to go to Waco this weekend with our fraternity calves, but man, I'd sure like to be going to St. Louis with Woopaa, but give him a week off and get him in Little Rock.
So when you're behind the chutes and you're flanking a bull, regardless whether it's Woopaa or whatever, like as a stock contractor for y'all personally, what's your mentality? Like, what are you hoping is the end result? And I know it kind of depends on if you're at a futurity or if there's a rider on his back, but let's talk about strictly with the rider on his back.
I think in all of it, you just want a good clean out. You just want them to do their very best. I think if you get to expecting too much or wanting too much out of them, I think that's where things kind of go south. I mean, that's my mentality. I don't know what yours is sometimes, but
well, I'm a very sore loser, so I want to win, but I've also the industry has gotten so tough that I've come to realize if my bull has his best day and he's still sound at the end of the day, that's a small win. The bull's sound, he's going home, nothing's hurt. The bull did his best. I may just have gotten beat by a better bull. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have the best bulls. I know there's people out there better bulls. There's just little things that I can do to try to beat those better bulls. So whether I'm flanking Woopaa or a futurity calf, I want to win, but sometimes a win is just having a sound bull that did his job that day, whether it be a 88-point bull or a 94-point bull. We're just trying to get the best out of them.
Yeah. So Woopaa. So he won the world title last year. He has really only had one out this year that he was a little under 45. But otherwise, I mean, he's so consistent. I feel like a lot of people look at the fact that he's been ridden a lot. I mean, his buck off percentage is 60%, 58%, but 60. What is it about? But the funny thing is, I feel like his outs are always amazing, even after he has been rode. So what is it? And this might be a better question for Mom. What is it about Woopaa's heart that allows him to do that every single time?
There are a lot of naysayers, I think, after Jose rode it, because he really hadn't been ridden at all his classic year. So then Jose rides him, and I think there was a lot of, can he do it again? Can he still do it? So then, Jose rides him. He comes back, has a good out. I think that was in Del Rio with Colton Fritzland. Yep. And had a good out there. And then it was just kind of that got the ball rolling. And the more we bucked him, the better he got. And, after Jose rode him in Tulsa, well, what's he going to do now? Jose's kind of rode him again. And, he just keeps on and keeps on. And for one to have that much heart, we hope he puts half of that in his calves. And so for us, like that's something that we're excited about.
Absolutely.
It's just the heart, and he's got a mindset that you don't see often. You know, like he enjoys it. You know, we go to the fraternities and he's pinned there and he can see us leave and he's not happy that we're leaving him. You know, he likes to go, and you can open the trailer door and he'll get on the trailer. Like there's no making him get on the trailer. So we know that he enjoys it. He likes to go. So that makes it easy for us to want to take him places.
Yeah. So when we talked to Jose, we talked about Woopaa and the fact that, you know, the guys that have ridden him are Jose, Dalton, Boudreaux, and Paulo, right?
Correct.
And they're all left-handed, right? So I was watching a special where Cody was talking about Woopaa, Cody Lambert, and he talked about being left-handed. You know, that's probably the only way you can ride him. What is it? And I know you used to ride bulls and stuff too. So can you kind of walk me through, like, what is it about? Because one thing that Jose talked about was how amazing of timing he has. Even though he's so powerful, he's got amazing timing. Can you talk to us a little bit, just to our audience, about what that kind of means and what gives left-handed people any shot?
Well, and so I can tell you about why the left-handed guys have a little bit more of an advantage, but also the reason I think he gets those big scores is judges judge on a criteria, and how they get to 125 is 5 different categories and 1 to 5 in each category. Mm-hmm. And those categories are buck, which is how high his front end comes off the ground, the kick, how high his back end gets off the ground, direction change, which to people listening, they may think he needs to spin left and right. That's not true. Direction changes when his feet land one time, and his next jump is if his feet or his head is pointing in a different direction. So if he spins left the whole time,
he completely does 180s.
Exactly. Well, and it's basically, think of it like this: when he lands, if his next jump, if he lands north and south, if his next jump's east and west, he changed directions. Mm-hmm. So if he's north and south, east and west, south and north, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's a direction change.
Yeah,
a lot of people
absolutely
think he needs to go both directions, which is not true. If his intensity, which he brings it all every time, and then difficulty to ride. He may not be the most difficult to ride, but he's so good in all those categories that it's hard not to have his degree of difficulty up there. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why he gives the big scores. And then touch back on the left-handed guys having the advantage. If you really slow it down and watch him, when he leaves there and he goes to turn back, he rolls just a little bit. Whether it be if he turns back to the right or the left, he rolls just a little. Mm-hmm. And when he goes left, if you're a right-handed guy, he's rolling you into your hand. You can go back and watch Colton Fritzling get on him or Cody Till. He rolls them into their hand every time. Mm-hmm. A left-handed guy, they have a little more weight running down that left leg, and then their hand, they can use it because it's pulling away from them, not into them. Yeah. So most left-handed guys that ride him are always a little bit behind. You can go back and watch Boudreaux, Paulo. Paulo barely made it because he got so far behind at the end. Dalton. All of them are a little bit to that outside because he's rolling, but except because Jose. Of where they're Jose's just picture perfect.
He's a freak.
Yeah, he's just a freak.
but because of the way their hands put down Bull's left side instead of his right side, it allows it to pull against it instead of into it.
I got you.
And there was a picture on Facebook after Austin got on him at Oklahoma City this weekend. He still went right with Austin, and that was into his hand, but that roll, and he has so much of it, it just rolled him right to the outside and bucked him off.
Yeah. Man, that's cool. Thank you for breaking that down. I'm always interested in hearing about that because when I talk to guys, like, every time Dalton rides, like, he's all over the place, you know, like he gets so far back, but he's got more grit. Like that dude won't let go until his head's flat into the ground,
sometimes I'm
which
worried
is
about
dangerous.
Yes.
But, and Jose, like we said, it's like poetry in motion when he rides.
There's no doubt that Woopaa wouldn't be Woopaa without. You take
Jose
out of it. Like he's just another bull.
Yeah.
But adding they've both won 2 world titles. It's pretty special, and I think we're gonna remember them too for a very long time.
Yeah, that was one thing Jose talked to us about, was just talking to him about like Lane and Red Rock and stuff like that. He was like, very humbly, he was just like, I hope people think of me and Woopaa in that same
I just hope
sentiment,
I can throw him off one time like Red Rock did
I
Lane.
know, right? Jeez.
It's funny we talk about throwing Jose off. I've had him on Woopaa 4 times now, I think.
Yeah.
And the only other bull of mine he's ever got on is War Cloud, and he's the only one to ever ride War Cloud also.
Oh, my gosh. You just can't get Jose
I
on the
can't,
ground,
no,
can you?
I've never gotten Jose on the ground, ever.
That's crazy.
No, Cord and Sarah had Jose on riding solo and Tulsa time last weekend,
And he rode riding solo,
that was awesome.
Awesome.
which is crazy.
94 3/4. I text Sarah. I said, "You can have Cody Till back. We'll take Jose."
Yeah. No, the funny thing about riding solo is when we had Dalton on, it was right after he made riding solo look so good. I was like, man, Cord McCoy owes you. And he just laughed. He goes, man, I should have rode that bull. I'm like, dude, you didn't last one jump, you know?
Like helicopter.
But I was like, you sure made him look good, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
How old is Woopaa?
6.
6?
Yep, he was born in 2016.
And typically, like with a bull like him, how long do you haul him? Because I know, obviously and I think we'd be remiss to not mention the fact that Smooth Operator passed away this past weekend. He was 11 or something like that. He won 2 world titles at
he was
9 and
12.
10, right?
He just
He
turned 12.
just
Okay.
turned 12, so
Okay.
yeah, he won 2 world titles at 9 and 10. So
I think
Can bulls typically buck that long, or is it? Do you see
Typically,
Woopaa
no.
going that long?
I think they tell us. I think we're around them enough, and we know when they lose a step. I think we're done. I don't want to.
and Chad did that, like Smooth Operator. I'm going to say he was at the very top of his game after the first world title.
Yeah.
He might have lost a small step to win the second one, and then Chad, you kind of tell he didn't push him quite as hard that the year he retired him, because he knew, hey, this bull's gonna give me 2 world titles. Let's remember him on top, not keep hauling him and remember him as an 82 pointer or whatever, So, and I don't think I could haul Woopaa to 9 or 10. Or I'm gonna say I might, but it would be hard to, because.
But y'all kind of let him dictate that a little bit,
Yeah,
as far as if
he would tell us. I think as far as being around him and stuff. Smooth Operator was kind of a different circumstances. Most bulls are done at 8 or 9,
Mm-hmm.
Smooth Operator, he was so wild as a 4 and 5 year old that
Yeah, I read Justin Felisko's write up about him.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to how he was like too wild, and then he was just kind of mediocre, I guess, or whatever, and then he got hurt or something, and then it's like he comes back out of nowhere older and
Right.
wins
And more-
2 world
exactly.
titles. Which have you ever heard of anything like that outside of that?
No, he was a freak. I think, because I thought he was great as a 4, 5, and 6 year old, and then he got hurt. Maybe as an 7-year-old, 8-year-old.
Yeah, 'cause
and he come back and he was even better. And usually it's the opposite. Once they get hurt, it's like, well, we might milk another
Just
year
breed
out of them. Right. Most people breed him, and if you got to buck him, it's get another year or 2. And here Chad is. He got 4 years out of him. But I think that goes to show how well all the bulls that are at that level are taken care of.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think that Chad got an 11-year-old bull to the PPR World Finals. He went 8 times, I think, and that's the most any bull's ever went. He's the oldest bull to ever win a world title.
That's cool.
I was a Smooth Operator fan when he was in the competition, so I could go
can
on
tell.
and on about
I
him.
can tell.
You're
kind of nerding out over there.
Yeah.
Hey, I hear you. With Woopaa, like, what are y'all's goals with Woopaa? Like, do you set goals like before each year with Woopaa and stuff like that, or what?
I
Like,
think
how
we
does
kind of
that
try
work?
to do that with all of our bulls. Like, we kind of sit down the first of the year, and partners do, like, hey, like, what are
Kind of
your,
what's their ceiling?
what's your kind of goals for this particular bull, no matter what? And
Yeah.
so, like, I think we kind of have a list of goals per partner and per bull as well. Of we're taking one this weekend that we've kind of set on for a little while and trying to make sure that he was ready.
Yeah.
And so, like, we wish we'd have been hauling him to the other 50,000 added futurity, but he's getting to go to this one. And so we're it's a lot of strategic
Planning.
and more than just going and entering a bull and, and going to the fraternity. We really have to kind of know what's going on to know exactly where they need to go and trying to put the bulls where they're going to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. What is the goals for Woopaa?
So Larry's goal is to win 4 world titles. There's no other bull
right.
that's won 4.
Wait, does that count the futurity one, or is he talking like a PBR
He's
world
talking
titles?
4 Unleash the Beast.
Because there's
world
only
titles.
been one that's won 3, right?
There's actually been
Who's won 3?
Bushwhacker, Bruiser, and Little Yellow Jacket. So there's 3 that have won 3. I think there's only one that have won 3 back to back to back.
Okay.
Bruiser maybe. I don't know. I just looked this up the other day. Is the only reason I'm even. But Larry wants to win 4 with him. That's Larry's goal. My goal, I just want to have a 47-point average at the end of the year.
Oh wow!
I say just a 47-point average. Yeah,
just a 47.
I mean, he broke so many records this past year. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of hard to
the event
step
titles.
it up.
I mean, what he won 7, not counting the finals. I mean, he's already won 2 this year. I mean,
the first out that was my goal last year, and I didn't make it because the first out with Dalen, he was 45.
Yeah.
If he would have been, I want to say, if it 47 and a quarter or better on both outs, he would have had a 47-point average, and that would have been another record. But because that out with Dalen was only 45, it went away. So I'm trying to get back there this year, and here I am 3 outs into the year, and I don't even have a 47-point bull score yet. So
yeah. So this year the season's changed up a little bit with those goals. So will they be crowning a world champion bull in May? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then will they do another one in November? Or do y'all know yet how that's going to work with the teams?
We're not sure. I'm sure they know, but we don't know as far as
just yet.
Contractors how the team events are going to work. Because team concept, you think you want a really even pin of bulls.
Yeah.
It's hard to find.
Throw Woopaa on an even pin of bulls.
So there's not enough bulls like Woopaa, and it would be hard to throw him in with a lesser quality bull to make it even. Both teams have a fair shot,
Yeah.
So I've asked, and I guess I haven't asked the right people because they don't know exactly how the format's going to be laid out for the team event. But they are going to crown a world champion in May here in Fort Worth.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, is there any interesting facts or anything you'd like to share about Woopaa before we dive into some fan-submitted questions?
He's a weirdo.
How? Why do you say
His
that?
personality is just very odd. Like,
Katie is a little biased because he's one of the only bulls that likes me more than her. Most bulls, they come up and they'll eat hay out of her hand and get scratched.
So that's why
by
he's
her.
weird.
So
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, he doesn't like her as much as he does me, so
There you
he's
go.
weirdo,
One day I was in the barn mixing my horse feed, and I hear him. We hadn't had him real long, and he is hollering, screaming, and it just rained. And I'm like, I walk out of the barn, and he's like walking back through the pen. And you want to tell him what happened?
I think Woopaa just plays with me because it's happened on more than one occasion. But he will, if I'm out in the pasture trying to push him up or something, he'll just chase me. Not being mean or anything, but you're not going to stand there when a 1,500-pound bull's running at you. You're going to take off and run. Well, I'll take off running, and I look back, and as soon as I run, he stops and, like, I guess kind of laughs, snickers, whatever you want to call it. But even if he's in a 10-by-10 pen, sometimes I'll walk by and he'll shake his head and act like he's going to get me. I don't think he would ever hit me or hit anybody, but it's the fact that he's like, hey, I'm going to mess with him today, So
That's funny.
I'm going to say we have a mutual understanding.
There you go.
There
you go.
Unique friendship.
There you go. Well, that's a lot, and a lot of we actually have a lot of fan questions that have to do with Woopaa, as y'all can imagine. Let's dive into some of those. The one that I like the most is if y'all are to get married. This is from Chase. If y'all are to get married, will Woopaa be in the wedding?
I don't know. You just heard me talk about him wanting to hit me. He may not appreciate it.
Is he tame enough to figure out something he could do?
We might put his name on the cake or something.
Yeah, there you go.
What's y'all's favorite win so far and why? Whether that comes from Britton Wallace, and they didn't specify, so it could be a futurity, an ABBI deal, or a PBR thing, or
favorite win's gonna have to be Bull of the Year, but for me, a close second is winning the yearling world title with a ranch raised calf. We raised his mom, and his grandpa was a calf me and my brother started with, so that one a little bit more went into it than having Woopaa sent to us, but
yeah,
winning Buck and Bull of the Year is a mountaintop. That's all there is.
for sure.
There's nothing higher than that, I'll put it that way. So
Yeah.
that's got to be mentioned for sure.
Yeah,
What about
I think
you?
that's it. You know, like obviously winning the women's fraternity, like that was a pretty cool deal for me. But I think another deal was just having a calf place. I know we didn't win the maiden fraternity, but having a calf that place that some good friends of ours own, I think that was pretty cool. To be able to place and get a good check at the maiden was something else that was pretty neat for us. I mean, obviously we didn't raise the calf, but belongs, like I said, to some good friends of ours. So it was just kind of a neat win for a few people.
That's cool. What makes y'all such a good pair in life and work?
I think
Knowing what Laramie likes for snacks.
Yeah. You can bet I got the snacks, no worries.
our willingness to do whatever it takes to, I don't want to say make ends meet, but to win or go above and beyond to do whatever we need to win. Whether she's got to feed that morning because I'm out doing something else or whatever, we kind of know what it takes, and
The
we don't have
sacrifice
to,
for each other.
right. We don't have to say, "Hey, you go do this. I'm going to do this." Like we know when that day starts what has to be done, and we may not talk for 6 hours, but we know we're doing the correct job. You know.
Yeah,
No matter how many all night
Yeah.
long drives I don't want to make.
I hear that.
I mean, I take a few naps, but hey, I'm there. I'm in the truck.
That's cool. What Jordan asks, what is y'all's favorite PBR event of the year?
Last year, maybe, I don't know, Cheyenne was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that one. Just because, like, the history there and all of that kind of thing. Like, that one was pretty awesome.
I think Cheyenne's neat, but I'm going to have to go with Tulsa just because not only did we break the record there, but the record-setting rides that have been there in the past. Mike White riding Troubadour. I can remember
The history.
I was young whenever I watched that, and I thought, man, that's one of the rankest bull rides I've ever seen. And then JB rode Bushwhacker there, and Jose broke the record on Woopaa. I think Tulsa is one of my favorites.
That's cool. I think we alluded to it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. But they said, what was and again, I know you've kind of brushed over it, but what was the kind of the light bulb moment when you knew Woopaa was pretty special?
For me, it was the first time I bucked him. Now, looking back on it, I thought he was special as a calf and all that, but the first time I bucked him and he was so good at San Antonio, that Term Pro, I thought, man, like he's good. And then the year went on, he wasn't never super, super good, but he never was bad. He placed every classic he went to, he's in the top 10. So, I mean, it takes a pretty special bull to do that. And then we went to Sioux Falls for the Velocity Finals, which was the first round of our Classic Finals. He was 46. And we bring him back, and 10 days later, we draw Jose, and he's 95 and a quarter or 3/4 on him.
Yeah.
At that moment, I knew, like, from South Dakota to Fort Worth is a pretty good hike. He's a young bull, hadn't really had that kind of pressure put on him.
Short time in between.
And he fired and bucked that hard. It was like, okay, we might have something.
I think that at the finals in 20 was when people were like, oh, Woopaa. Like,
That was kind of the eye-opening out. But you go back and look at the trip from San Antonio, and you're like, man, why didn't I see that then, you know?
Yeah. So Courtney, I don't know, ask them about the Fancy Bucker Club they started.
So
Anybody want to take that?
yeah, I'll take it. I don't have a problem with this.
I'll give credit. This was Laramie's idea.
So well, we have lots of people that want to get involved in the buck and bull industry. Mm-hmm. But depending on how well let me back up. there's lots of people that message us that they don't know the front end from the back end of a bull. They just think owning a bucking bull would be cool, and I agree. Owning bucking bulls is awesome, but they don't realize what all it takes. They have to own they don't have to own a farm or ranch or truck or anything. They can let us know, but I don't even know where it's going at. But anyway, the Fancy Bucker Club, all these people messaging us wanting to get involved, and we would tell them like, hey, a good bull is going to cost $10,000+. Well, they're not comfortable spending that on their first one. They might want to spend $2,500, $3,500. So we come up with a plan. We're going to get, I think, was it 25 people? Mm-hmm. So we got 25 people to invest $2,500, and it was a one-time buy-in. You know, because that's the next thing. You might buy the bull for $25,000, and then in 2 months he's ready to go to an event. And you're like, hey, I need $1,500, and you got to pay me for feeding him.
Yeah, for entry fees and all that.
So you got to pay me to take care of him. You got to pay somebody else. So we got an all-inclusive buy-in, and that was all the way through the end of his 2-year-old year. And I'm excited. This weekend's going to be the bull's first event of his 2-year-old year, and we bucked him at the house, and he's probably 92, 93 pointer.
And it came from Courtney Dehoff, Fancy Lady Cowgirl. Is her brand.
It is.
Yep.
Courtney, yeah.
So that's her brand. So she owns part of the Yearling World Champ in 20 Top Dollar.
Yeah.
So Court's like family, and so
shout out there for Court.
Oh yeah. So we
Sorry for adding "knee" to the end of your name. My bad.
So we kind of had been talking about it. Well, then we thought with Fancy Lady Cowgirl, because that's where all these people were coming from. There we came put the Fancy Bucker Club, and so we had all these people still wanting to get in it. We'd already filled that up, so we did the Fancy Bucker Club 2.0, and they were
waiting list for Fancy Bucker Club.
There was.
So we did that on Nigel, which is the bull that I won the finals with.
That was a good one to be on.
And so there was a handful of them, and a lot of them got to come to the finals, got to see him. So
that's cool.
And on we call the other bull Grindstone. That bull, they're the people that are in on him are people from all walks of life. I mean, it's that's super cool. It's some people that already own bulls, some people that I don't even know that they know what a bull is.
So y'all are kind of being ambassadors by doing that. That's pretty cool. You're kind of introducing people to the game.
That was our whole goal, was to get new people interested in it and show them what it takes, and not so much what it takes, but what all you get to be a part of, I guess.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't care if they know what it takes at all. I don't expect them to carry a feed bucket or anything like that. But I want them to be like, hey, that's a pretty fun deal. Let's be more involved in it. Whether they come to me or whoever,
somebody
Court,
else.
HD, I don't care who they buy a bull with, as long as they realize how cool of an industry this is to get involved in.
Yeah, that's cool. So Mason Taylor's girlfriend or fiance, I can't remember which one it is now. I think fiance now. Caitlin asks, what types of therapy do y'all use to keep the bulls feeling their best?
We actually don't do a whole lot of anything. It's I've done a little bit of it all. I'll back up and say that I've done MagnaWave, I've done acupuncture, if you can name it, and it was for bull or safe for bull, I've done it.
We have some great vets.
Yeah.
But we do have good vets, and like we've mudded hawks, and we've treated them like horses. We've used drawed out, which is icy hot more or less.
Yeah.
Like Dallas Shaw, she used to live in Decatur, and she's up in South Dakota now. And if we have a problem, she's the first person I call. No matter if we got to FaceTime or fly her down here. She's here. She worked the finals, and so anything we needed, she was there. Don Lee, Ryan Padone's husband that owns Double X Equine in Sunset, he come out and his x-rayed Woopaa and done some things. Like, we take care of them more like a horse, really. But as far as like the therapies and stuff, we're a little
time is usually your best
friend on that.
And the only reason I say that is because if you're hurting, I might can tell you're in pain, but without you telling me what's hurting, I have no idea what to work on and where to work on. And since bulls can't tell us, it may look to me like I could watch you walk and be like, man, he's limping, his leg must be hurting. Well, really, it's something in your back
or something. Yeah.
So a bull, they can't tell us. So I hate to really go to doing too much therapy on one without knowing what's wrong. So usually time is our best doctor, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Best therapy
sure.
method.
For sure. So, Jordan asks, what's something about Woopaa that people don't know?
I think maybe his leg.
Yeah, he had as a 3-year-old, he got his leg hung in the buck and shoot and cut it pretty good. They didn't know if he'd be able to buck again.
Dang, really?
Yep, and you can still see the scar and the scar tissue and stuff. If you look at it on his leg, it's pretty rough looking.
Huh.
I think that's probably the one thing that people.
That's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, to not know if he'd buck again to doing what he's done.
Yeah.
And that you never know. That may be the thing that finally clicked in his head, like, hey, they're giving me a second chance. I got to do it.
Get after it. Yeah. Well, Katie, Laramie, it's great to have y'all on today.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all coming. Is there anything else y'all would like to add overall, or just say to the fans of the sport in general, or fans of Woopaa?
I think, keep up with him on social media. I think that's the coolest thing. I really try to, me and Laramie, we really try to put it out there. And, if you want to know something about him information-wise, it's out there, whether it be on woopaa.rocks or Hookin W Ranch, either one. We really try to put things out there, where Woopaa's going, what he's doing, that kind of thing. I think we just want more people to know that, like, information's out there.
That's awesome.
I don't think so. We're usually pretty active on social media. If you try to call or message us, we don't get back to you. Don't be alarmed. But if you got a question, don't hesitate to ask either.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all again for being here, and thank you to the Brand Room down here in the historic Fort Worth Stockyards bar and restaurant for having us out. It's been a really cool facility to do the podcast today. I know, Katie, this is probably more of a question for you because you probably remember off the top of your head. Where can people find y'all on social media and follow along?
So
I know you mentioned the websites. But
Hookin W Ranch is just hookinwranch.com, or on Facebook and Instagram, it's Woopaa Official on Facebook and Instagram. And on his website is woopaa.rocks.
Awesome. Is that ROCKS?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, perfect. And if y'all would, follow along with us on social media at Tough Draw and at Tough Draw Talks for more episodes of the podcast as we continue to bring y'all closer to the rodeo community and the sports you love. Until next time, everyone, enjoy the ride.